On February 12, 1977, aspiring actress Christa Helm was murdered, stabbed to death, in West Hollywood, as she was leaving her agent's place. What makes the Helm murder stand out is the vague possibility that she was killed because she was extorting someone powerful in Hollywood, but even that's doubtful. Christa Helm was a 27-year-old single mother and aspiring actress with a reputation for her willingness to trade sexual favors for a part or get inside Hollywood's golden circle. She came from a rough working-class background. Her mother was a divorced alcoholic who suffered depression and who allowed her various boyfriends to sexually molest her daughters. Christa became pregnant at 16. She eventually moved to New York without her daughter. Beautiful, clever and smart, she found her way into New York's elite circles, made the friends including Broadway producer Stuart Duncan, heir to the Lee Perrins Worcestershire sauce fortune. The family's estate home in Newport, Bonnie Crest, has chimneys built to resemble Lee and Perrins bottles. Duncan was a primary investor in the smash hit Godspell and allegedly gave Helms a small piece of his share, which must have been a tremendous boost to her income. Duncan was in the midst of transitioning from the stage to the screen and in 1974 helped Helm land a small part in the very low-budget film Let's Go for Broke. Helm moved to LA when the film wrapped and made her way into the elite circles there as well. She hooked up with financier Bernie Kornfeld, a Jewish Turk with a murky background and generally questionable business ethics. Helms moved into Kornfeld's 40-room mansion, Gray Hall, which had originally been the home of Douglas Fairbanks. Helm came to know Kornfeld's Hollywood pals including Elizabeth Taylor, Michelle Phillips, Lawrence Harvey, and Warren Beatty. She also came to know Mick Jagger, Joe Namath, and the Shah of Iran. It was during those years that Helm allegedly started keeping her mysterious diary on the sexual hijinks she was involved in with the jet set. Rumor says that the diary was filled with every detail of her escapades in LA, detailing names, dates, times and places. Supposedly she kept the diary with her at all times. There was another rumor that she was also recording the flings. Her friends warned her to stop or at the least to be careful. It was around this time that she also cut a disco album for the otherwise prestigious Casablanca Records. The album bombed, but it put her in close contact with Patty Collins, a backup singer. The two became inseparable friends, at least to Collins, who said Christa was flirty and came on to me immediately but with a sense of timeliness. She let me know she was interested in me but wanted me to be comfortable with her first. I more or less ignored her advances, all the time keeping my eye on Patty who was keeping her eye on me. To be quite frank, I have never had an interest in having a relationship with another woman, especially sexual. I have been married 5 times, but always to men. But I accepted Christa as she was, and I appreciated her interest in me, even though it was not something we would act upon. However, according to friends, Helm was involved in a secret affair with Collins. On the night of February 12, 1977, Helm attended a party. By then she was sharing an apartment with a woman named Stephanie Warsaw who attended the party with her. Helm called Sandy Smith, who worked occasionally as a talent agent for her, and asked to come to the party, but Smith begged off, so Helm left the party to go to Smith's house in West Hollywood, although Smith said she never arrived, or, if she did, that she was already asleep for the night. But Helm may not have made it across the street to Smith's house at 9020 Lloyd Place in West Hollywood. Her body was found on the street by a man named Thurman Brooms, the owner of Bear Limos. Police suspected that Broom knew not only Helm but Sandy Smith and was on his way to Smith's house to buy some dope when he literally tripped across the body. On December 5, 1979, Brooms and his secretary, Irene Bracci, were gunned down in his office in a drug-related assassination. The suspected killer was a coke dealer named Eddie Brewer. Christa Helm's car keys were clutched in her right hand, which was hidden under her car. Detectives noted that she parked her car with the tires jammed into the curb. One of them was blown out as if she had stopped suddenly. Perhaps she was being followed, stopped the car suddenly and got out to confront whoever was in the other car. Neighbors told investigators they heard loud voices out on the street. One said the voices belonged to 2 women and 1 man. Another reported hearing screams. John Grease, now an actor, lived in the neighborhood and recalled, "I can still remember it. I couldn't tell if it was a screaming baby or a cat being killed. It was a horrendous, horrendous scream. It was terrifying." The next day the sheriff came knocking on the door. They asked if any of us had heard anything unusual in the night and they told me someone had been murdered. I remember the police officer saying, "Had I walked into the street I would have seen her, but I only looked down the sidewalk." Oddly enough, Grease, 19 at the time, was also sexually involved with Helm. The killer stabbed her 20 times and severely beat her with a blunt object, a hammer or a gun handle. Her hands were covered in stab wounds, indicating that she was trying to defend herself. DNA results showed that she clawed her killer. Police speculated that based on the passion, time involved and brute force the killer used, that he or she knew Helm. A detective on the scene said she was bleeding quite profusely there. You could see that she had numerous stab wounds in the chest. We thought we had a rage killing, that somebody was really upset with this girl. The way she was attacked really sticks out. It was violent. A lot of passion involved. She was stabbed 22 times. But her purse was missing, which was odd since robberies rarely include so much brutality. Investigators learned that she may have been stashing cocaine for a dealer named Rudy Mazzella, a roommate of her session keyboardist Blair Aronson. Did Helm steal the stash? Later on, police learned that Mazzella allegedly